Welcome back to the Lighthouse program about wisdom. I think it would be a good idea if we recapped on the story and maybe used our imagination a little bit. So, let's say there were two plots of land for sale on which houses could be built. Let's say they were two islands, not far apart. One was a rocky island and the other a sandy island, both in the same sea. So along came two men. They were looking for some land to build a house on, separate, and they saw these two islands for sale and they thought, One said, I'll go for that one. And that was the rocky island. And the other one said, I'll go for the sandy one. And each had a dream of what sort of house they might build on it. So they bought the islands and they moved in and started to build. At least the one with the rocky island, he got straight on with it because he had a lot to do and it was a difficult thing to dig down into the foundations before he could start constructing the house. The other man, he thought it was going to be a pretty easy job, so he took a rest first of all. He treated it like being on the beach and had a rest. Anyway, eventually they both were building their houses, and whilst the man on the rocky island built steadily and carefully on top of his firm foundations, the other man on the sand, he put his house up very quickly, and before long it was complete. Eventually they were both finished, and whilst the man on the rocky island admired his own handiwork, he saw a good house that he built, and in fact he built a little garden around it as well, where he could grow some fruit and vegetables and flowers. The other man was satisfied with his house too, on the sandy island, and he thought, that's a nice place to have a holiday. So he rested. In fact, he went straight up to bed and went to sleep. But before long, a storm started brewing. Strong southwesterly wind blew, the sea got up, the waves mounted, the rain came down, and what happened? Well, nothing happened to the house on the rocky island, because it was on firm foundations. It stood firm, and the man was pleased. But it was different on the other island, the house built on sand. The bricks came tumbling down, the boards came tumbling down, and so did the tiles, and the house absolutely collapsed. No house, nowhere to live. Oh, disaster. So what's the most important thing in that story? It's not what we build, but what we build on. Jesus was asking his listeners to think about the foundations that the houses are built on. He starts the story by saying, those who hear his words and act on them are like the wise man who builds on the rock. But what does this mean? Let's stop and think about it. Can you remember from the assembly, what is the rock that Jesus was talking about?